NXT goes back on the road again, and tonight we have an episode where not only TNA basically takes over, but so many high profile, high stakes, important matches are made for Roadblock in 2 weeks. So let's see what happened on NXT tonight. The show opens strong with the Women's North American Championship being defended. Stephanie Vaquer, the champ, goes up against Carmen Petrovic with her boyfriend Ashante Adonis. And well, for the most part, we all knew who was going to win. Stephanie Vaquer picks up a very good victory in a very good match. But the important thing to note here is what happens after the match. Giulia comes out, surprisingly, to celebrate Stephanie. You'd think, well, okay, they're best friends. It makes sense. Why wouldn't they celebrate together? But it felt kind of odd. And then Giulia was like, you upset me. You said you're the best champ. I'm the best champ. And the two have a back and forth, which ends up a match being made. Championship for championship at Roadblock. Title versus title. Stephanie Vaquer versus Giulia. Holy crap, this is such a big match. Now, I'm conflicted on it, personally. I don't think we should have a double champion. But it's going to be a pretty freaking cool match. Like, it's going to be awesome. I want to see this match. And the high stakes of it even makes it so much more exciting. Now, I don't think we're going to get a clean result. Most likely, Fatal Influence is going to interfere. Or someone's going to interfere. Maybe this new faction has a few female members that are going to interfere in the match. Who knows? I just don't think it's going to end up in a clean victory. But I can't help but be excited for it. Then Santino and his daughter Ariana Grace are backstage and they basically talk about all the TNA stars here tonight since Santino is their GM. That's when Lola Vice comes up and she says she wants a match, but Ariana is like, we're fully booked for it. And Lola Vice is just like, no, you're not. I'm gonna fight you tonight. And that sets us up for a match of Lola Vice versus Ariana Grace tonight. Pretty random, but I'm not gonna lie, I was very excited for this match because we haven't seen Lola Vice in so long. And Ariana Grace, although she appears often, we haven't seen her in a match for a while. So overall, I was just excited to see these two women finally in action again. And Lola Vice picks up a victory, as you can expect. Ariana Grace is much better as a character worker, and Lola Vice needs this victory. I think she's going to be slotted into the NXT North American Championship Division, most likely. Overall, pretty solid match, and I'm just glad it happened. Then next, we have our first TNA superstar of the night appearing. Moose faces the NXT Heritage Cup champion, Lexis King. As you all know by now, I'm the resident Lexis King hater, but I think he looked really good in this match. I think he didn't look out of place against someone like Moose, and he pretty much held his own fairly well. But at the end, Moose won the X Division, Stand Tall, or the Heritage Cup. So then Obafemi comes out, and they basically have a back and forth. No, it's not going to be a title for title match. I've seen online some people confused because it's now for the NXT Championship only, but they thought Obafemi said title for title. He said Titan versus Titan, not title versus title. Although at first glance, or first hearing it, I also thought he said title for title. Easy to mistake it. That's not. Again, another high profile match. I would have also liked if it was title versus title too, but that's not gonna work. Obafemi is above the X Division Championship. He's not gonna hold it. He's not even gonna lose it. Obafemi in an Ultimate X match, maybe on an NXT pay-per-view, would have been really cool. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's not gonna happen. Never gonna happen. But that would honestly be so freaking cool. We have some progression, some vignettes to continue the feud between Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker. That's going to have a match next week. But we see them in a bus brawling, and then Jada Parker is interviewed. And she basically just calls out Kalani and said she's not her. And Jada is her. We then also have Jordynne Grace going into the ring, talking about how she's now here in NXT. She's happy to be here. But there's a shift in the women's division because of her. And then Roxanne Perez comes out and she talks about how she's beaten her before. And I guess we're going to go for feud for this. I'm not exactly feeling it. I love Roxanne Perez as much as the next person, but I just want to see her be on the main roster now. I don't think she should be taking losses here on NXT because she's not going to beat Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is going to run through her, and I think that could damage Roxanne Perez. I don't think it's going to hinder her too much, but I would rather not have her take that loss, and you can't have her go over Jordynne Grace, right? I don't think this is a good decision. I think we could have gone with someone else instead. Maybe Cora Jade, who's appearing on TNA. You kind of have that TNA connection there. I would have preferred that. But Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace too, it's going to be amazing. I'm just not sure about the match. The Hardy Boys, my favorite tag team of all time, are now in action. And they defeat the NQCC while Fraxium looks on. Again, we have another match made for Roadblock. It's the Hardy Boys versus Fraxium for the NXT Tag Team titles. Basically confirming Fraxium are going to win because they're not going to drop the title belts to the Hardy Boys. But overall, let's talk about the match. It was solid. You know, the Hardy Boys aren't the prime Hardy Boys anymore. But Jeff Hardy is my favorite wrestler of all time. So I'm naturally going to be biased for every match he's in because I just enjoy seeing Jeff Hardy. So any match he's in, it's great to me. It's a 5-star match instantly. So don't take my opinion on Jeff Hardy matches or the Hardy Boys matches too seriously. But overall, I would recommend checking this out. They're not washed. They're still pretty good. It was a fun match. I can't hate it. We then run through a few vignettes or backstage segments, just setting up a few feuds. Trick Williams meets Javon Evans backstage. Javon Evans tries to console him a bit, saying, "I can relate what you're going through." But Trick just snaps at him like, "No, we can't. I'm fighting for my NXT championship. You're fighting for a broken jaw. It's not the same." And Javon is clearly upset with this. And then, what's his name? Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints comes up to him and he basically, he tries to console Javon and says, "Why is everyone in NXT so angry?" I kind of like this. Trick Williams' obsession with this championship is driving him way too far. That's the story we're going with. He's pushing aside Trick Williams. He's pushing aside Javon Evans. He's not trying to embrace the up-and-coming star Ricky Saints. And he's giving so many flashes of Carmelo Hayes, who also got so obsessed with the NXT Championship, he turned on his friends. And that's what Trick Williams is going through now. I don't think Trick Williams is going to turn heel. That isn't the outcome I think we're going for. I do think at the end of the road, he's going to realize what he's done and he's going to be a better babyface for it. I think that's the more interesting story to go. He's not going to be like Carmelo Hayes. He's going to be Trick Williams, the Trick Williams we all know. And that's a cool story I think we're telling. Tony D'Angelo is also now back from injuries, and he wants to finish the job against Shawn Spears next week. Honestly, I would like to see Shawn Spears hold the North American Championship. I think this new group of him has so much potential. I've really bought into them now. I want to see Shawn Spears hold that NXT North American Championship. I think there's just so many better things you can do with that, and so many better stories you can tell with that, instead of having it on Tony D'Angelo. Not that I hate him. I just don't think he's had the best North American Championship reign, and I don't necessarily feel like he's one of those wrestlers that work well with a championship, not with his gimmick. And we also have a tag team match set up with Sol Ruca and Zarya going up against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven next week. I think this might lead to a United States Championship match for either Sol Ruca or Zarya. The most likely result is Sol Ruca and Zarya are on a tear as a tag team. They're probably going to have a victory over Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and one of them is going to pin Chelsea, and that's going to lead to a United States Championship match. Probably going to be Sol Ruca. I don't think they want to have Zarya lose, because Chelsea Green's not going to lose that belt to an NXT superstar. So it's probably going to be Sol Ruca pinning Chelsea. We're going to have that match. It's just going to be a solid mid-card feud. I don't mind it too much. Just some fun women's action. And then in the main event, we have an amazing match of Ricky Saints and Javon Evans defeating Ethan Page and Wesley. Another phenomenal match. Just tonight went to show that there's a lot of high-profile men's wrestlers. The men's division isn't as strong as the women's division, but it's really starting to climb. And with potential new signings and potential new up-and-coming stars from the LFG show and from these new faction debuting, I think the men's division is really going to have a tear in 2025. And this match, it went to show it. Ricky Saints, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and Wesley are all phenomenal superstars who are really going to carry the men's division this year. Just a phenomenal match. As someone who doesn't really watch AEW, I've seen some clips of Ricky Saints, but he really has impressed me so far. I'm excited to see where he goes. I think he's probably going to hold the North American Championship in a few months. I really think they're going to fast track him to superstardom here in NXT because he has charisma, he's good in the ring, he has a look. So he's going to be pushed as a very big star. And that was NXT tonight. Another phenomenal show. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Maybe even more, but 2 weeks as far as I can tell. With the show being just goddamn amazing. I'd give this show another 10 out of 10. Just everything that happened. It was some great stuff. I can't even complain about anything. And real quick before the video ends, I want to thank DDJ, Blake Anderson, and Ullabode for commenting on my videos last week. It really helps push the channel a lot. I'm sorry if I butchered your names. I just wanted to give you guys a shout out because you are all regular viewers of this channel and you comment quite frequently. It really helps the channel out a lot. It pushes the video further so much and helps with a lot of exposure. It does mean a lot to me, and I am going to sell out a bit and ask you to once again comment, because like I said, it helps out a lot, and we're so close to 500 subscribers. But even if you don't, just thank you for watching. It does mean a lot to me. I'm gonna start trying to shout out everyone who watches my videos once a week, just as a thank you, because I really do appreciate you. So I hope to see you guys again later this week for TNA. And if you saw my last video, it was something a bit different, a bit new. I'm trying to push out one video like that every week. So tune into that too if you're interested. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.